Normalize talking about menstruating. There are lots of menstruators in this world, and we need to normalize talking about it.
A lot of my friends will go home during the day because they get their period and they either don't have like 25 cents to buy one at the bathroom or they just don't have one in their backpack.
There are students that attend university that are using socks. The fact that they might be in a situation where all of the funds that they have available to them is spent on school or food and basic needs. But the thing is, periods are basic needs.
Most people wouldn't think period products. They would think transportation and housing and childcare. But something as simple, I'll say, as menstrual hygiene products make a difference.
Period products, you cannot get them through a WIC program. If you are on food share benefits, you cannot purchase period products with them.
Period products are taxed. We are one of 23 states that still tax period products.
Knowing that, oh gosh, I need to take a second. Just to feel like a normal person, to feel like, hey, I get to do the things that all my friends are doing. I get to be in those clubs. I get to swim in gym class. I mean, things that you wouldn't even think could be a barrier, that we can help people move past that is why I work so hard to make this happen. I can't talk about kids. It makes me cry. I'm not on my period.
It's a bodily function. Like, what other bodily function do we not support, right? Like,
we started distribution in October of 2022, and we started with just a couple of local schools, a couple of local organizations, and now we are working with 61 local schools and community organizations to distribute products.
We have over 25 schools in our district that participate in the Monthlies project. So I'm going to quick do some math here. Last year, we distributed over 13,000 tampons, over 8,000 pads, over 3,000 liners. So close to 25,000 products. Isn't that crazy? Well, and that doesn't even include, we distributed almost 1,000 period underwear and leggings. We didn't introduce the leggings and underwear till later. That was kind of like a dream of mine that, okay, great, we have the product, but if they have soiled clothes, they're still probably gonna leave, right?
And so instead, they can give them a pair of black leggings that look like everybody else's black leggings that are in that school anyway, and they can slip those on and go right back to class.
You're wadding up toilet paper to try and get through the day. Most women have had a situation in their lives where they've had to do that. But when you need to rely on that as a regular system, it heightens the anxiety that girls feel about going to school.
A lot of menstruators also aren't young women. There's transgender men and non-binary people who also go through the same thing. And the process of getting your period when you're also going through an identity crisis can be really, really stressful and confusing.
We're dealing with people who don't necessarily think about raising children in what we might call the traditional sense, whatever that means today. If you're a young adolescent girl who's living primarily with dad, you may or may not have the relationship that really allows you to have a frank conversation around menstruating. And it's certainly not because dad doesn't care about his daughter. It's dad doesn't menstruate.
it's not just enabling the distribution of product, it's also enabling conversation and understanding.
There's so much stigma and shame surrounding periods. School should be a place that's safe and accepting, and you shouldn't have to worry about your classmates shaming you for something that's completely natural and not even your fault.
It's an issue that will take communities coming together to solve. They're necessities, it just doesn't make sense that they're out of reach. It should be a community initiative. Who can we bring together that can make an impact without creating a new nonprofit, without having an executive director or staff or overhead? Who can we bring in with those resources? So that started the regulars.
Nobody owns the Monthlies project. It's not under the umbrella of any one organization. It's multiple organizations that are coming together. Things I offered up that I knew the Women's Fund could help provide was the fund mechanism. So our role is to hold the money that is donated through partnerships, individuals, and then distribute that money to where it needs to go to provide the period products.
Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin, we are a food bank. So we, at the basic level, move food from our food donors to the food pantries that need it. And so we are a warehouse and a logistics hub. Coming into the Monthlies project, we said we will be procurement, storage, and distribution of the product. So let's tap into the resources that we have. We have wonderful volunteers that come in, they look at the orders that need to be packed, they put them together, and they're putting them together with care. They're looking at, is it an elementary school that's receiving that? Well, let's pick some of the things that would be more appropriate for an elementary aged menstruator.
We're tapping into our expertise and the connections that we have and the things that we do every day, how we show up in our work life, and just make it happen. And it's really beautiful.
I would imagine if you asked any menstruator, everyone has a story about handing someone a tampon in a bathroom. And this is like what menstruators do. It's what we do as humans, and this is doing it at scale. And you can bet when somebody goes into a bathroom and needs that product, it's going to make a big impact in someone's day.
I got to sit here and talk about periods more. Can I do that? I love that.